Have you ever felt like you had to act a certain way, dress a certain way, or hide parts of yourself just to fit in? That pressure exists everywhere. But in some places, it's much stronger and much harder to escape. In Japan, there's even a saying for it. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. This is not just about culture trivia. The pressure to conform in Japan shapes careers, mental health, relationships, and even the country's economy. It affects 125 million people every single day. That proverb, "Durukue wa yutara" in Japanese, is taught to children, referenced by managers, and felt in daily life. Standing out is not celebrated. It is managed. At the heart of Japanese society is a concept called shud and shugi, group-first thinking. The group's needs, harmony, and image almost always come before individual desires. Another key word is wa, meaning harmony or peace. Disrupting harmony is one of the worst social sins in Japan. You must keep things smooth, even if it means hiding how you really feel. Japanese culture has two faces, tatemae, the public face you show others, and hanne, your true feelings. Most Japanese people maintain tatemae almost all the time. It starts very early. Japanese schools are famous for strict uniforms, uniform haircuts, and strict rules about everything from sock color to how students bow. Many schools in Japan ban permed or dyed hair, forbid wearing jewelry, specify the exact length of skirts and pants, and even regulate what kind of bag students can carry. Children quickly learn that fitting in is survival. Being different can mean being left out, bullied, or quietly ignored by the group. So children adapt, and fast. Japan has a serious bullying problem called ijime. Much of it targets children who are different, who speak differently, look different, or just do not follow the social script. After school, students join clubs, called bukatsu. These clubs reinforce group loyalty, hierarchy, and discipline. Individual creativity often takes a back seat to team unity. Japanese schools and workplaces run on a seniority system called senpai. Kohai. Older people are respected, obeyed, and never openly contradicted by those below them. Getting into a top university in Japan is all-consuming. Students attend special prep schools called juku after regular school, sometimes until 10 or 11 at night. Everyone follows the same race. Those who fail their university entrance exams are called ronin, like wandering samurai with no master. The shame and social stigma can be crushing. Japan has a unique system called shikatsu, mass job hunting season, where thousands of graduates wear identical black suits, carry identical black bags, and visit companies at the same time every year. Every spring in Japan's major cities, you can see thousands of young graduates all dressed identically, same suit, same bag, same practice smile, all chasing the same companies. Once hired, Japanese employees are expected to show total loyalty to their company. Leaving a job early, or switching companies often, was traditionally seen as a serious failure. In Japanese offices, everyone arrives early. Everyone stays late, even if the work is done. Leaving on time, when others are still there, can be seen as lazy or disloyal. Decisions in Japanese companies are rarely made by one bold person. Instead, there is a slow consensus-building process called namawashi, consulting everyone before anything changes. There is also ringe, a system where proposals must be approved by every single level of management before action is taken. It takes forever, but no one person is ever blamed. In meetings, speaking up aggressively or challenging the boss directly is a major faux pas. Instead, disagreement is expressed through silence, vague responses, or careful whispers after the meeting. In most Japanese offices, especially traditional ones, there is an unspoken dress code. Men wear dark suits. Women wear modest clothing. Standing out visually is seen as unprofessional. Tattoos are still deeply stigmatized in Japan. People with tattoos are often banned from public baths, gyms, and some beaches, because tattoos are associated with organized crime. Japanese society runs on uniforms, not just for school. train conductors, hotel staff, shop clerks, delivery workers, and even cleaners all wear specific uniforms. Identity is tied to role. Even the Japanese language enforces conformity. There are multiple levels of politeness, keigo, and using the wrong level with the wrong person is a serious social mistake. In Japan, directly saying no is considered rude. Instead, people use phrases like "it's a little difficult" or "I'll consider it," which actually means no. The listener must learn to decode. Apologies in Japan are constant and deep. People apologize for being late, for not knowing something, for asking a favor, and even for receiving a gift. Sumimasen, excuse me, is heard dozens of times a day. Eating alone in Japan was once considered socially strange. There are even special solo dining booths called Ichiran ramen-style restaurants, designed specifically so solo diners feel less exposed. On Tokyo's trains, millions of people ride in almost complete silence. Talking loudly, eating, or taking phone calls on the train is considered rude, an imposition on the collective space. Even before COVID, Japanese people commonly wore face masks in public, not just when sick, but to avoid being noticed, to hide emotional expressions, or simply because others were wearing them. Mental health is deeply stigmatized in Japan. Seeking therapy or admitting to depression is often seen as a personal weakness. Many people suffer in silence rather than risk social judgment. One result of intense social pressure is hikikomori, people who completely withdraw from society, staying in their rooms for months or even years. Japan has over 1 million hikikomori. Japan has one of the highest suicide rates among wealthy nations. The pressure to succeed, fit in, and never be a burden, combined with the stigma against asking for help, drives people to breaking points. Women in Japan face a particularly intense form of social pressure. They are expected to be polite, soft-spoken, slim, and well-dressed, while also being good workers, good wives, and good mothers. Unmarried Japanese women over 25 are sometimes called Christmas cake, a cruel metaphor suggesting they are past their sell-by date after the 25th. The pressure to marry young is immense. Men face different but equally crushing pressure. Being a salaryman, a devoted, hard-working corporate man, is the expected role. Choosing a different path, like being an artist or stay-at-home dad, is still looked down upon. Comparison is constant. How your child performs at school, what company you work for, what neighborhood you live in, what car you drive. Japanese society grades people invisibly but relentlessly. Loud laughter, emotional outbursts, or strong personal opinions expressed in public are all socially frowned upon. Restraint and calmness are virtues. Enthusiasm must be controlled. Even gift giving in Japan has a strict code. The type of gift, the wrapping, the moment of presentation, and the response all follow invisible rules. Getting it wrong causes shame for both sides. Now, let us be fair. Not everything about this culture is bad. Japan's conformity culture also produces extraordinary things. The trains run on time, precisely. Workmanship is impeccable. Service is world-class. Omotenashi, Japanese hospitality, is legendary. Shopkeepers bow when you enter and leave. Hotels anticipate your needs before you ask. This perfect service is a product of group-focused discipline. Japan has one of the lowest crime rates of any major country. People leave umbrellas, phones, and wallets behind, and often get them back. Collective responsibility keeps disorder in check. Japan's streets are among the cleanest in the world, even though there are almost no public trash cans. People carry their trash home. The group expectation of cleanliness is that powerful. Kaizen, continuous improvement, grew from this same conformity and disciplined culture. Japan gave the world lean manufacturing, zero-defect production, and relentless quality improvement. These are world-changing gifts. But now, cracks are beginning to appear in the conformity wall. Young Japanese people, especially those under 30, are starting to push back. Slowly, quietly, but unmistakably. Social media, Especially platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter have given Japanese youth a way to express themselves that bypasses traditional gatekeepers. Some are going viral precisely by being different. More young Japanese are choosing non-traditional careers: YouTubers, artists, freelancers, and entrepreneurs. The number of self-employed workers in Japan is growing for the first time in decades. Tattoo stigma is slowly fading among younger generations. More young Japanese have tattoos and are challenging the old rules. Some gyms and onsen are beginning to lift their bans. Attitudes toward mental health are changing. More Japanese celebrities and athletes are openly discussing depression and anxiety. Therapy apps and mental health services are seeing growing demand. But the tension is real. Old Japan and New Japan are pulling in opposite directions. Older generations still value group loyalty and restraint. Younger generations want individuality and freedom. Many sociologists argue that Japan needs to find a new balance, preserving the beautiful parts of its group culture, the harmony, the craftsmanship, the care, while making room for individuals to breathe. And here is the universal lesson. Every society has its version of this tension between belonging and freedom. Japan just makes it visible. The conformity pressure you see in Japan? It exists everywhere, in softer forms. Japan may be on the edge of its quietest revolution, not with protests or riots, but with young people choosing a different path, one at a time, quietly, bravely, without making a scene. If this video made you think differently about conformity, share it with someone. And maybe ask yourself, where in your own life are you holding back just to fit in? Thank you for watching.